welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is the finale.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
A 7-part series. Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn.
Unicron.
Part 7.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of this episode?
Over the rainbow.
Over the Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Somewhere
course.
out there.
Yeah, somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and be transparent. We were going to do this with Dakota. It was going to be a magical reunion on this show.
A return to another form.
With Dakota. But in true fashion...
Pushed out like a bitch.
No. Slow down. We almost made it to 1 minute.
I'm kidding. He's going to get a kick out of that.
We made it to a crisp 56 seconds before you just started throwing out curse words like a degenerate.
I don't know what you expect. Nothing has changed.
I was hoping that you would at least wait a little. Anyways, what I was saying is that in true fashion for this show specifically, we took a little too long to start recording. And him and his betrothed had to...
Or no wife.
Yeah, exactly. Had to go back home. They live about an hour away, and they got to be up early tomorrow. And I was like, hey, you know what? I get it.
I'm just glad I get to see him.
Exactly. Glad to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
He likes Gundam a lot because it was his first Gundam series, just like myself.
Yeah.
And I love this series. And I've been holding off on saying my final conclusion statements until we really get done with it. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna really just let it all out right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, sadly he had to go. But we're going to get him on another episode. It'll probably
we'll
be
get him.
Oh, well, I'm gonna get you. Me when I get you.
Me.
Me when I
win.
When you and I and when
Get.
got.
Yeah.
It'll probably be sometime around the beginning of the new year, whenever he makes his eventual return. And I didn't realize how many episodes he's been on. Uh-huh. I did a little perusing whenever you had told me he was going to be back in town, and we're going to have him on.
It's at least 3 or 4.
I want to say it's a little more than that.
Damn.
I think it's probably something like 4 or 5, actually.
Wow.
Exactly. So anyways, yeah. Every time he's been in town, I think he's been on an episode, and I want to say that I could be wrong. It could be more than 5, but I want to say it's something like that. Anyways, longtime friend of the show, longtime friend of Dylan.
Yes.
A little bit shorter
brother.
Time friend of mine. Exactly.
Grew up with the guy.
Exactly. So, this being the finale, obviously this is where all the chips are on the table. Mm-hmm. Everything, they pull out all the guns.
Oh, yes.
Literally. We start off this episode with full armor Gundam. Like we said in the previous episode, laden with rockets, shields, miniguns, rocket shins.
Oh, yes.
The whole shebang, dude. And so literally come out guns blazing. Beautiful creation. I love it. But before we get into the events that transpire in this episode, like I was saying before, I wanted to talk about my concluding thoughts on the series as a whole. Mm-hmm. This episode,
you mean like Gundam period, or are you just talking about this show?
I mean this show specifically, but I think
damn.
No,
yeah, we watched a lot, but not everything.
No, definitely not. No, but a culmination of so many things happens in this series that I know that there are other Gundam series that happen after this in the UC timeline,
right?
Quote unquote. But for what this is, and for it being the first Gundam series I've ever seen, and it also playing such a pivotal role in the Universal Century timeline, and a lot of things are happening outside of the universe and inside the universe. I just feel like I wanted to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about this since we started this, but I felt like it was only apt to talk about it whenever we're really concluding it all, and you were talking about the finale of it all.
No harm, no foul.
Of this series,
right? Apt, apropos.
this series, I believe, came out around the 30th anniversary of Gundam, which is like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Right. Already a good start.
I mean, yeah, already a pretty big start. And again, for the art quality, it is so...
It's gorgeous.
For an anime, it is a beautiful, very pretty anime. Or animation just in general.
Yeah.
There is a use of some like 3D animation that is like very... what is the term I'm looking for? Fitting.
Not too jarring.
It does not stand out.
Yeah.
It fits the art style. It is very cohesive. That's what I was looking for. It is very cohesive with the rest of the show, and it doesn't stand out and look weird. And it's just a very beautiful show.
Yeah,
they got a great soundtrack, great sound design.
Boy,
like the whole,
do they!
I mean, it fires on all cylinders, and it does a great job.
Can't go wrong with a Sawano score.
Exactly. But with this also being the 30th anniversary, they do a really good job of hitting on some critical things that happened in the previous installments.
There's so many callbacks.
There's so many callbacks,
returning
and I think
characters,
right, and I think for good reason because again, obviously, this is a big moment. The whole storyline of this is this hunt for LaPlace's box.
Right.
Which, a little spoiler alert, which we'll talk about more later, is what is the term called?
MacGuffin.
I guess. But like the in-universe, it's like the articles, it is like the, almost like Constitution.
Yeah. The Ark of the Covenant.
Right. It is the for lack of a better term, I'm going to say like the Constitution of like universal century. There was a point in time where...
At the beginning of the new Earth calendar.
Yeah.
When everybody was moved out into space.
Right.
They decided to kick it off with a new name for the era, which was universal century.
Right. And then with that, they kind of had some articles, I guess, or like some laws that were passed that says some things and all that kind of stuff. So like this whole series is focused around this LaPlace's box, which we don't know. All we know in the majority of this show is that it is kind of the linchpin that can really topple over the Earth government.
Right.
And it turns out to be, these kind of set of rules or whatever. So the very foundation of what this show is a part of is like the kind of the beginning of it all, of like Universal Century, and which kind of ties into like what happens in the 1 Year War, which happens.
The reason for the box's existence,
right? Is that what it is? Is the reason for that? Because I thought that.
Well, no, I mean the start of the Universal Century and the subsequent terrorist bombing is the reason for the box's existence, because they take the real article and just tuck it away somewhere and use it as a bargaining chip.
I see.
In order to amass power and keep the Federation in power as a sort of byproduct.
And that happened around the 1 Year War?
No, it was before the 1 Year War.
Okay.
It was like at the very beginning.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. So, anyways, there's a whole timeline of events that goes on, but the 1 Year War and the beginning of Gundam takes place at year 79, turning over into 80 for the 1 Year War.
Yeah.
Whereas this takes place at the turning point of year 100. So it's been 20 years since like this chaos has been kind of taking place of like these two factions kind of warring and fighting for each other. There's a lot
about to reach an actual century now.
Exactly. And so anyway, so there's a lot of things, there's a lot of references, there's a lot of like culmination of events, there's a lot of big named people involved.
Oh yeah.
A lot of time has passed. A lot of Gundam series have taken place in between that like 20-year span of like years in the Universal Century history, as well as like in our history. It's been 30 years since like the original has come out.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, it feels super cool that we're getting all, like there's a lot of stuff happening.
I love it.
That like this Gundam Unicorn feels like a big milestone for a lot of things for me. And not only was it also the first Gundam that you ever showed me, so I've always had kind of a special place in my heart for it because there's a lot of great suits, a lot of great music, a lot of great stuff inside the show itself.
Oh,
but now having us gone through the series itself and like me
with
like
fresh eyes,
exactly. Now that I know some of the history, now I know some of the stuff that happens in the future. Like it's super cool to kind of put the timeline together and get a broader picture for how things are. Like a little small reference that we'll talk about in a minute is the fact there's a colony laser. Yeah, and I feel like
from Grips 2
exactly. So the thing is, like, I feel like I think you told me what that was in the moment we first watched it, and I probably was like, "Holy shit, that's crazy!
Fuck?
That's crazy!"
Yeah.
But now having known what that is in context for the history, I'm like, "Holy shit, they brought that back!"
Right?
It's like, "Oh my god,
it's nuts!"
Yeah.
Man.
So, anyways, like there's all these things that I feel like I'm growing a new appreciation for this series specifically. But now having, like we said, having gone through it again. And me also kind of digging into some of the other stuff and, you know, putting it in context with real world events as well as Gundam Century events. It has just really grown to be a great Gundam franchise that I think is cementing its place in my heart. If I can't get that across, in as many words.
If it wasn't obvious enough,
yeah, exactly. If it wasn't obvious enough, I've really fallen in love with this series all over again. And there's a lot of good reasons why. Because again, in this last episode specifically, we get a lot of references to things in the past.
That final scene is what I've been waiting for God knows how long.
I know.
The prep work, dude.
I picked up, just to let you know, I picked up my mug to take a sip and then said, "I know." But instead of saying it into the mic, I said it into my teacup. All of a sudden, I was like, I know.
Slurps.
Yeah. Anyways, I got confused holding one thing in my hand. As you were saying.
It was long ago. We don't hold our mics anymore.
Right. Exactly. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you remember that shit? Jesus.
What a bygone era.
Cavemen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Neanderthals.
Right. But yes, we were waiting for this episode specifically because there's a lot of great callbacks. There's a lot of great references.
Oh, yeah. As soon as it popped up, I was like, okay, now's your time to shine. Show me what you remember.
Oh, man.
This is what your training has been for.
Dude, even all the way down to the freaking Neo Zeong. Even just that there is such a... Again, when I first saw it, I was probably like, holy shit. That's a big robot.
That's a hell of a machine.
It's the Sonanju inside a bigger robot. Wow, that's crazy. And the fact that there's this like crazy Halo
Psycho shard system.
Right. That's crazy. Space Halo freaking makes
exploding weaponry.
It's crazy. But now knowing the context of what the Zeong is, and knowing how goofy it is, and the fact that like they're and like I know that
it's got no legs.
I know
the legs are just for show,
right? And the thing is how that was a reference. I even said it in the previous episode that I remember what the events that transpire in the last episode, but I don't quite remember like how Full Frontal is involved in the fight because it's been so long I don't remember. But in that episode, I think it was Zinnerman or somebody had made a reference to the fact that like it's got no legs, and I was like, that's the same reference that happened in like the original series with the Zeong. And so I was like, I know that's going to probably play a part into it, but I can't visualize what it was. And then we saw the Neo Zeong. And the fact that it has that same bell-shaped bottom, but it's got those long jets. I was like, I remember it now.
Extra thrusters.
And I remember watching it the first time thinking, well, it doesn't have any legs, but it's like a big space-only robot. But I didn't get the greater reference to like the first series, like main antagonist Char move. And I was like, bruh.
Good course.
And what... Not going to lie.
Yeah, don't fucking hold back on my account. Dude. Splurge, bro.
The Zeong, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's strange. Especially for like the Gundam.
Deadly effective.
You're right. Precisely. It has taken some time to grow on me a little bit because I think I can appreciate it now, but at first I'm like, it's just a little weird.
On its own, like just in a static pose, it looks like, wow, that is the goofiest shit I've ever seen. But as soon as it's like on the battlefield and like throwing out these fucking finger lasers, detaching its hands to hit you from different angles, and the face, dude.
Yes.
All it needs is a ant's eye view of the thing with both of its hands either like in this pose or just like fucking
like a little bear claw pose.
The eye just staring down at you. That's all you need to make that thing intimidating. It's perfect.
So there are aspects of it that I'm like, I get it. It's cool. You're right. When you just see a model of it, you're like, that's a bit weird. I'm laying out this foundation here because just like the Kshatriya, the quad wing is like the
peak Zaku.
The peak Zaku is what that is. The if you take a Zaku and then you just make it what its final form would be, that's what it is.
Yes.
And I feel like if you take the Zeong and you really give it its full char luster, its full Zeon feel, and you make it as cool, more final form that you can.
This is a boss at the end of an RPG.
Exactly. This is if the boss in the first game is still alive and is at his final form in the third game.
Right. This is a literal Deus Ex Machina.
Exactly. And I love it. I saw it in that same thing. You see it in this pose where it's just like, come at me. And it's just this unmovable force where like it's not moving. People are shooting rockets and he's just like nothing is getting through. He's holding his forearm up and things are blasting off of it.
As if he's like nonchalantly just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he finishes blocking, he just raises his other finger.
Yeah. Almost zaps.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a fucking noble swatting a fly.
Yeah. Oh, get away from me.
Be gone from me.
Exactly. It's as if like a bunch of children are throwing paper at you and you're just like, stop it. You freaking nuisance.
Right.
Anyways, so we see like the first time we see like it's standing there. We see it before and it's like kind of dug its way into the into like the colony or whatever it's called. But like
at that point, it's like static.
Right.
It's just
we get an idea
like an Alabama tape. But as soon as that motherfucker starts moving, it's like, oh,
yeah,
wow.
But it's like inside the colony, and it's huge, and it's just standing there like, haha, here I am.
Fuck you gonna do?
Right, and I love that, and so looking at it, in its full glory in that moment, I was like, I get to see the reference of the Zeong from like the kind of like I said, like the bell-shaped kind of like skirt section with these like the finger lasers that are like massive and I love the look of the Sinanju, and the Sinanju's like very proudly in this kind of like upper body portion that's like it's like locked into. I'm like, bruh, it's just cool.
Gorgeous.
It's super cool, and it feels like, again, it feels like the pinnacle of what like the Zeong would be. And so this whole series feels like that, of like you just take the good things of this and just like really go
dial them up.
Yeah, just dial them up and really clock it in at like, this is what Gundam is. This is what made us great. These are all the things, these are all the references that people really get, but it's not going to be so like fan servicey. It's great. And I love it. And even as someone that's not like a super diehard fan or hasn't been in this franchise for decades, I've been just a drop in the bucket in probably the 5 years I've been a fan of it or whatever. But like, I get it. Seeing this, I'm like, bruh, like this is it. This is cool. And I was like, anyways, so I wanted just to say all that, like, because that is, I as we're like tiptoeing our way through this series specifically, I've been feeling that again and again. I'm like, oh, this is cool, because it's reminding me of things from the previous kind of iterations of Gundam we've watched, and like
every big moment.
Exactly. There's a
cool suit.
And then like we get some references to Zeta a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So like there's like these big milestones. There's like all these littler franchises, but we got like the main series. We got Zeta. We got Double Zeta. And like, you know, Char's counterattack is a big thing. So like there's
one of the biggest.
Exactly. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff, and I love it. But anyways, I guess now we can talk about the events that transpired.
Right, if we can.
I mean,
there's a lot.
Yeah. Right at the get-go, like we were saying before, Rita, is it Rita or Riddy?
Riddy.
Mm-hmm. Riddy is in the Banshee and he's going buck wild.
Right.
And Banajar is trying to chill him out. And they're like, he's like, he literally at one point, he's like, we don't have time for this, dude.
Mm-hmm. Look around you, dipshit. Use your fucking brain. But he's too absorbed.
He's gone. He's, like we said before in the previous episode, he's really too far gone, it feels like. He's crazy, he's aggressive, and he's just like, oh.
Right. He's just out to kill Banajar and the unicorn and possibly himself.
Right. if so desired.
Right.
Yeah.
But he just cannot bear the shame of finding out how his family has come to be so successful.
Yeah.
Because of the box.
Right. And his family has kind of been the ones. Am I right in thinking that like they have been the ones to kind of hide the box to keep the Federation on top?
Right.
Okay. So yeah. Damn.
Rough stuff.
Rough stuff.
So he's completely given up on the possibility of redemption.
Yeah.
And is just full sent into nihilism.
Right. It's all for nothing.
Mm-hmm. So as they duke it out for a while, the Argama is only getting closer to the Megalonica, where the box is supposed to be.
Yeah. That's the colony I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And dude, this fucking battle.
Super cool.
It's one of the best.
It's crazy.
Because we start off with all the prep work of Neo-Zeon mole suits being deployed to intercept the Argama as they're heading towards the colony.
Right.
And we see them set up a certain weapon. A cannon of sorts of the hyper mega variety.
A little Hyakushiki cannon.
Right. The exact same model.
Yeah.
Like, they just ripped that shit out of Zeta and put it on the ship.
Right.
We got our man Conroy at the helm.
Super cool.
I love his J-gun, dude. This is fucking ECOS, like Spec Ops J-gun.
Super cool.
Got the combat knife, got the napalm.
Right.
The super napalm, excuse me.
Super napalm. Yes. Excuse me.
Right. The beam pistol. It's one of my favorite looking suits. I actually have like a little SD model of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had Daga's ECOS J-gun up there somewhere that I actually kind of want to get down now.
Really?
Yeah, just to have them on display.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the battle progresses, we see just like both sides taking hits left and right. People are dying every which way.
Right.
I love the fact that as soon as that Gasa like boards the Argama.
Oh yeah,
dude, the boxer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We recently watched a video.
Oh yeah, the fucking channel.
Yeah.
Dude,
we watched a little video.
Like fucking meme edits of Battle Operation 2 gameplay.
It's funny.
And he gets this fucking Gallus, like the exact same model.
Yeah.
And just starts wrecking motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
Left and right. It does so much damage.
Yeah, he's got these hooks on. He's got these like forearm shields that can like flip out, and you can like grab the tail ends of them, and they become like spike like punch gauntlets basically. It's crazy. And
Cestas.
And it's a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So
like he latches on to the ship and is about to be destroyed by a Garancier Gira Zulu, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And a Jagan comes up behind him, both of them wielding beam sabers.
Yeah.
Jagan makes the first move, gets punched straight in the cockpit.
Yeah.
And then he whips right around and fucking kicks the Zulu in front of the hangar bay.
Crazy.
But he's not the only one on the ship I never know how to pronounce this thing's name. It's ZSSA. The Zasa.
The Zasa.
Right.
Oh no, we got a Zasa.
No. Oh Jesus. Which is this tiny little artillery-focused mobile suit. It's got a bunch of missile launchers. For whatever reason, the pilot has elected to use a pump-action shotgun to
I mean, it was pretty
slowly
effective.
dismember the Zulu.
Yeah.
And he almost like takes him out until they raise like the blast shields on the runway, which is such a nice detail.
Super cool.
I love how you can tell what people are thinking and doing as the fight's progressing, depending on what actions. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So, in response to this, the Gallus grabs some strip mines, a la Comfort, and just busts open the hangar bay to try and infiltrate. But not before our buddy Conroy.
Conroy.
Yeah, takes out the main camera of the ZA.
Oh, yeah. The Z-Saw.
Right. Tries to take out the Gallus, but it's able to block most of the shots it's putting out.
Yeah.
And it fires like its tow cables at the at Conroy. But not before he like uses fucking beam Tom for
he's like,
get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you thinking.
Yeah.
And then he just throws some like 3 super napalm grenades at the Saw.
Yeah.
It's a stupid ass name, man. There's no other way to pronounce it. It's so fucking it's funny.
I feel I get what you're saying. There's probably other ways, but I just like the way I love how it just feels like you're stuttering every time. He's just throwing out this
right. And have you ever seen like somebody's flipping their shit inside of a vehicle like a car or any kind of any kind of vehicle? Through these blue ass flames, you can see the suit. Like he throws his gun away, starts freaking out, and jumps off the ship.
I jokingly while we were watching, I did the whole oh god, yeah, like he's being
cooked,
burned alive.
Mobile suit turned into a fucking microwave.
Because that's what it felt like. It's like the blue flames like hit him, and of course there's like the kind of like this the slow panic before it's like the oh shit, like
I'm on fire.
Yeah. And this is gonna be bad for me. Kind of like the
water in space.
The real panic sets in.
Right. I can only imagine, like, because you can't have any kind of like flames out in space.
Yeah.
Unless oxygen is present.
Right.
I can only imagine how this fucking weapon was designed.
I don't know.
What material did they use? What resource?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did they make to use
just liquid oxygen?
Super napalm.
They just made liquid oxygen, blasting out there.
Shoved up just shit in there.
Just make
It'll work somehow.
Random
bullshit. Go.
Random bullshit. Go.
Oh man. Yeah. So he's like straight up countering this Gallus like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
He's putting up a good fight. Like it's hard to deal with this son of a bitch.
Right.
Feisty. But as the Gallus makes a charge for Conroy, we see one of the unicorn's rockets that were strapped to it for extra propellant and fuel.
Right.
Just nail the motherfucker in the face, and he is thoroughly dislodged from the ship.
Oh, yeah.
Forever to drift in the void.
Exactly.
Because the Gallus does not have any kind of, like, thrusters on its own. At least that one didn't.
Really?
Yeah, that motherfucker was a one and done.
Oh, gosh.
He was going to get on the ship and stay there because he had no other option unless somebody came and picked him up.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
That's interesting.
Another nice little detail I liked.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so he saves Conroy, and the bridge, Mihiro tells him to, like, stop in for a resupply real quick. He says, no, I'm good. I can still go.
No time.
And I can only imagine he saved a Rizel at some point because he's just got him by the arm and leaves it by the ship. Takes his gun, of course, because he's effectively running low on ammunition.
I need something.
Exactly.
But before we move too far along, though, at this point in time, Marita has hopped back in the Kshatriya.
Yeah.
And is like, hey, yo, put me in, coach.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone on the bridge is like,
nah.
I don't know. Because she's still not 100% from like her injuries and
just
stuff.
Like fresh out the infirmary.
Right. And not only that, our quad wing babe only got 2 wings.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a duo wing, if you will.
Yeah.
And so.
It's a little. It does have this cool ass minigun leg.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm always a fan of.
Love that.
It's got a beam javelin.
It's kind of cool. Like backpack mode now that it has like some pretty cool stuff.
Big thrusters.
Yeah. Big thrusters.
Yeah. It's got a Sturmfaust launcher.
this is important to touch on because as everyone is like, Zinnerman walks in and is like, hey, yo,
let her go.
Let her go. Let her do her thing.
She can keep the Banshee busy.
Right.
While the unicorn clears the front for us.
Exactly. And again, everyone's still a little hesitant, but then he's like, it's going to be all right.
She got to do what she got to do.
She got to do what she got to do. So they eventually like, yeah, okay, you can go ahead and go. And then like in a cool twist of like, in a cool show of respect, the captain, what's the captain of the Earth Federation captain?
Otto.
Mm-hmm. Captain Otto is like, hey, yo, can you take like the chief gunnery position?
Yeah, the deputy commander.
Yeah, right. I
need a strategist.
Right. And everyone, I think one of the, I guess, commanding officers on the bridge is like, are you sure about that? And he's like, I need someone who's I need a, what did you say a second ago?
A strategist.
I need a strategist. I need someone who's going to help me out.
Yeah.
Would you do that? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So
fucking cool.
I mean, it's really cool, especially for like that, for Zinnerman's
differences
character.
and grudges cast aside.
Yes,
for the greater good.
And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for a character like Zinnerman, which I feel like I've really grown fond of this watch through of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's obviously, it's a tragic story. It's hard, and it's like, oh man. So it's cool to see that, like you're saying before, differences and grudges and all that stuff is cast aside, and he's able to get.
He's on the level.
He's able to get some respect, which I think he deserves.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, with the Kshatriya showing up and being able to hold off the Banshee, literally holding at one point in time. Grappling.
I have me when I get you.
Me when I get you energy. That's whenever the unicorn was able to sneak away, blast off that goon, and of course,
he basically clears out the runway. All that's left is fucking Angelo. That Orpal bitch.
Oh God.
So he's just
I got a funny
same
comment
as he has ever been.
Yeah, it just is insufferable.
And busts out the new rose bits.
Oh yeah.
That work as a psychomu jammer and is able to negate the NTD system and weaken the unicorn, basically restrain it. Yeah. So that he can get a quick kill. Mm-hmm. And things are looking grim. Yep. Until Marita's fight with Riddy progresses just a bit further. She's clearly on the ropes, but is able to use some nice funnel missiles to take out a leg. Yep. Blast a whole leg off. Yeah, this is the first bit of like substantial damage we've seen to one of these things. And it just it was just, as far as I could tell, a regular ass missile. Guided, of course, but
right. But there was also a lot of them too. Mm-hmm. There was a handful of them, and I think that was the thing that
he just got overwhelmed.
It was the overwhelmed it was what got him.
Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, right as he is about to come around, like everybody's communicating with him because he's slowly becoming a new type. He's got that telepathy.
He's really being forced into being a new type.
Right. They're just trying to talk some sense into him.
Oh, right.
Like, you just got to stop fighting, bro. Right. You're fighting the wrong people. Get over your bullshit. Your family doesn't decide who you are.
Right, yeah.
Or what burdens you bear. But, his Magnum just taps his arm, and that causes a backflow. And
that was the thing, is like he was making some headway,
right,
until his rifle was able to hit his arm and kind of snap him out of it, and then it felt like everyone's individual messages that was very nicely kind of sparsed out. It all hit him at once, and it was just like a bunch of noises, and then it went from like him making progress to like, freaking out.
Yeah, so he grabs the beam magnum and fires a shot straight through the Kshatriya's cockpit.
And I'm not gonna lie, totally forgot that happened.
Really?
So it's been a long time since I've watched it, and again, certain characters I don't think I was really latched onto as much as I am this time. Now that I'm really understanding. I think I remember like the big points that I watched from the first time. So now I'm able to focus on some of these like side characters that I don't think I did as much before, like Zinnerman, like Marita, all those all these people that I feel like I the first time around, because it was my first Gundam, there's a lot to take in, and I think that was some of the stuff that fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
And so this time, now that I understood some things, I didn't have as many questions. Now I was able to focus, I think, on some of those little side characters a little bit
able
more.
To parse the nitty gritty.
Right. And so whenever that happened,
of everything.
I totally forgot that happened, because I remember the Kshatriya got damaged or got out of commission somehow,
messed up for sure.
Right. And I thought that when we saw it last get messed up, that was the thing I was referring to. The whole cockpit gets hit and it explodes in magnificent color.
Yeah.
And it was, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And
I was like, ooh,
this is going to have nothing but negative effects. Is what I would have said if her fucking Newtype ghost didn't reassure everyone.
Gosh. She was everywhere all at once.
Yeah. My final message.
Yeah.
Change the world.
Exactly.
Goodbye.
In like a spiritual form, she comes to everyone. And in
even Riddy. Immediately after he kills her, she's like,
she posts up
bro,
and is like, hey,
it's all right, man. Just go with the flow.
Chill out.
Be you.
It'll be all right. And he's like, oh no.
What have I done?
Like he literally after, I mean, it is almost instant regret. He's like, hey, what have I done?
Yeah. And after that, he's out of commission.
Yeah,
complete shutdown.
Of course.
Now, Banagher, on the other hand.
Oh, man. You want to talk about rage mode?
Physical pain from her death.
Oh, yeah. It felt...
Motherfucker's grabbing his chest like he's having a heart attack.
Yes. And it's like, it is as if something's being ripped out of his chest. Oh, and I don't blame him. Yeah. They were really close friends at a certain point.
Yeah, the psycho levels from the unicorn are going off the charts, completely countering Angelo's restraints.
Yeah, he is in this like...
NTD activates immediately and the thing fucking screams.
He's in this double pyramid prism thing with all these leashes on him. And he
activates the awakened state for the unicorn.
Right, the light blue phase of it. Just goes straight hardcore mode.
Oh, yeah.
His shields fly off and start blowing this shit off.
Funnels.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. And then I love, what's his name? Angelo. Angelo is like, what the fuck? What power is this? And I was like, bro, you're
about to get trounced, bitch.
I don't think you understand this. You were about to get turned into a paste.
Yeah. Jesus.
A few things I wanted to touch on that we kind of skipped over for a second. I love that, like, in the beginning of this episode, there is a fight between the Banshee and the Unicorn are happening. The Banshee keeps trying to like provoke Banagher in a way and provoke that NTD system to turn on, and Banagher like calls out and is like, Riddy, like, please stop. I can't hold it back. I can't hold it back anymore.
Like, you've been holding back.
And that is one thing that gets him like tipped over, where he's like, you mean to tell me I'm giving it my all and you're holding back? And he was like, I can't stand this Gundam. He already has said that numerous times, but that is one thing that really tipped him over the edge. And I feel like that was such a good, I think that was so interesting that happened a second time.
Yeah.
Where like he's being physically restrained, he's being physically shut down, and then it was like, nah, he goes full hardcore mode.
Ain't no beating that.
Yeah. There is a lovely moment as well, whenever Zitterman is like calling out the plan to have the Kshatriya hold off the Banshee so the unicorn can go on, and saying the kind of the full plan.
Yeah.
And he reaches out to Rita and he's like, you heard the plan? You got that? And she's like, yep. And he says,
don't overdo it.
Yeah, you think you can handle that? And she's like, yes, I can. And so like there's an awesome moment where like he finally gets to like really just like reassure her and all that kind of stuff. And so with the very sad downfall of what happens, obviously he's distraught and justifiably. And like we said before, her force ghost kind of shows up and kind of like reassures everyone. I mean everyone. Enough where like Captain Otto's like, I didn't just hallucinate that.
Clear as a bell.
Clear as a bell. We heard some things. And
it's also at the beginning of the episode where Benager and Riddy are still fighting. Everyone on the ship can hear what they're saying to each other.
Yeah, they can all hear what they're thinking is what it feels like.
Yeah. And it's all just like it's a fucking like Skype call on speakerphone for everyone to hear.
We all just got hopped in the wrong Discord chat with two guys just duking it out. Hey guys, your mics are open. You should mute yourself.
Yeah,
if you want to argue. But yeah, so the whole her spirit kind of reaches out to certain people and says some things, and there's this like heartbreaking moment where, you know, where Zinnerman is sitting there and is like, of course you would, you know, sacrifice yourself in this moment, and
right?
Like all these things, and he's like, and he's beside himself, and she like, you know, comes down and just like says, "You were my light. You were everything. You kind of gave me my life in a way."
Yeah.
And like again calls him father and says goodbye, and it was just this like, oh man,
oh yeah.
There's one thing this man has worked so hard for. It's the people that he has loved, his family, and has fought for, and all that kind of stuff. And so it was just such a, oh man, it hit me hard this time. Like I said, kind of focusing on him a lot, thinking about him and everything. It was such a touching moment.
He's easily one of the most interesting side characters in this show.
100%. He has the most. I feel like he has the biggest reason for doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
There are people that make decisions in a show. There are good. I feel like. I don't consider him a villain, but he has the characteristics of like a good, well-written villain.
Right.
A person that is against a certain foundation, a certain group of people, a certain way of belief, because those people specifically are the reason why he lost his wife and daughter. And it's like, it's hard. I'm not saying that everyone makes good decisions. I'm not saying that like that, but it's like I can see why that man is fighting against those people, because those people are the people that took away the only thing that he cared the most about. And it's like those are the kind of well-written villains that I love. That I'm like, I'm not saying you're right, but
I get where you're coming from.
I get where you're coming from, and I understand why you're hurt, and that's hard. I can only imagine, and that's the thing.
This ain't the way, bro.
This ain't the way. That's the thing, is that I feel
exactly. But Nazir said those exact things in the form of several punches and kicks.
Exactly. And the thing is that I think I have fallen in love with his character so much because this is the underdog story of like him being part of a group of people that are not quite right, but again are against the people that hurt him, and now he is kind of slowly making this kind of return to neutral,
road to redemption,
right? And is helping people along the way, and is doing right, and it's great. He is not. I wouldn't say he's fully for the Earth Federation, but again, that's what I'm saying. This like true neutral stance of like. He is fighting for what is right in this context.
Right.
Fighting along the same people that are
for everyone.
Exactly. So it makes it really easy to root for him, because you're like, because that the whole time you're like, man, I may not condone those actions, but I get it, dude.
Right.
And then the whole time you're watching him go through, you're like, and even up till like the very end, when you get to see his, for me, getting to see Captain Otto show him that respect of like, hey, like I want you to be a part of this team here on the bridge. Yeah. It was like, man, that's awesome. For a character like that has gone through so much shit, it's awesome to see that he gets a level of respect. And so, anyways. As we're saying about the other stuff, Marita gets killed.
Right. Newtyped.
Yeah, right. Riddy is riddled with grief and doubt in himself.
Non-functioning.
Yeah. Which is good, because I mean he gets a little time out.
Right.
A little moment to sit aside.
Take a breather.
Exactly.
Come to terms with what he's done.
Which, to be honest, he needed that last episode. But
right. Jesus.
So anyways.
Panagir heads back to the ship.
Yeah.
Crying his eyes out.
Bruh.
And Minerva is able to board the Unicorn with him so that they can finally board the Megalonica and get to the box.
The box.
The box. What's in the fucking box?
What's in the box? I got my dick in the box.
Oh my God.
I'll play it.
But meanwhile, back on Earth, Bright has intercepted communique that 2 heads of both families involved in this conspiracy have met at the control center for Grips 2.
Yep.
The colony laser.
Yep.
So he's like, oh, hell no.
So did the Earth Federation know about that colony laser?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course they did.
Okay.
So one of their little secret projects.
Love that.
Like they are wont to do.
Love that.
Yeah. Great.
I think it's going to answer my question that I have later. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have a very, very important question that I didn't get answered. That I feel like I want to get answered.
I got you. So, as soon as Bright gets the lowdown on what's going on, he invades this.
Invades is the right word.
Right, this base. And we see we see his ship just flying over the base.
Oh, yeah.
Jestas jumping to and fro.
Yeah.
Just
everyone's minding their own business in this like nice, like very politician-esque rooms, like big tables, everyone's in suits, everyone's minding their own business.
Right. Alberto is on the brink of losing his mind.
Oh my God, exactly.
At the prospect of actually using this damn thing.
Right. And also
especially because he knows Rudy's out there too.
Yeah. And also like the loss of Marita as well, like kind of hit him in a different way.
I love that she even went all the way to him.
Yes. Crazy.
The one man with a conscience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
So anyways, they're all like, hoity-toity, they're doing their thing or whatever. And then, I mean...
Dirty deeds.
Bright rolls up like a freaking SWAT team, like, about to bust with the doors.
Right.
Like,
he's over the loudspeaker. It's like, this is...
FBI, open up.
Right. We are conducting an impromptu investigation. Please disperse immediately and surrender.
Right. It's like, holy shit, dude, we're getting swatted ASAP.
That's such a great perk of being an autonomous unit.
Oh, yeah.
Not having to answer to anyone, them just knowing that you'll have the best interests in mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, it felt like at least some justice was going to come.
Right, the one person back home who could de-escalate the situation at all.
Right.
But, he busts in, and they got they got it like all whirring up and getting ready for the firing. Yeah. Tries his best to convince them otherwise by force if necessary, but doesn't quite get that far until he activates the charging sequence.
Mm. So this is what I was a little confused about.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do those people have that much pull where you can't outright tell them to not do that?
More or less, yes.
Okay.
Because of the connections they have and how long they've been affiliated with the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, this is all kept under wraps.
Of course.
If anyone actually found out what was going on, they would be jailed immediately.
Right.
But, they've got the resources to effectively keep all this under wraps.
That's what
Bright gets a hold of them.
Right. And Bright, I think, shows some restraint a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
Because, like, he doesn't intervene as much as I was hoping that he would.
No slaps.
No. Oh, man. The lack of slaps was actually the saddest part.
Yeah.
There's a couple of times where I feel like, I mean, that probably wouldn't have been appropriate, quote unquote. But that bitch deserved it.
Oh, of course.
I think he deserved it. I think that, what is the dad? Ronan. I think Ronan deserved it. I think he should have gotten a Bright slap too. Everybody all around.
Yeah. Martha did definitely, because she was just raring to go to use the colony laser right away.
Just so sassy, so smug.
As soon as she figures out that they're close to finding out what the box is, she's like, fuck it. Destroy it. Destroy them.
Of course.
And Ronan is like, hang on now.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just let them... let's just see what they do with it.
Right.
And to me, that says, like, he's still got that whole shameful mindset about, like, I'm ashamed of how my family's used this shit. I wouldn't mind if somebody decided to make better use of it than us.
Right.
So, in that regard, I'm like, okay, you're not totally irredeemable.
Yeah. You're not that far gone.
Right. But, holy shit. As soon as he decides to activate this thing, Alberto is... Now, this is after he's, like, talking to Martha, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, stop.
I sided with you because of how Dad was. You told me you weren't gonna... You told me you were gonna go against all of his fucking principles, and you're acting just fucking like him.
Yep.
And, after he's been restrained by their private security, he tells them that Riddy is there.
Yep.
At the Megalantica.
After the big red button has been pushed.
Yes.
And we got a 5-minute countdown.
After the point of no return.
Yeah. And I didn't know.
Ronan is immediately like, oh my God.
I was confused.
I've just killed my son.
Yes. I was confused because I didn't know that was a point of no return button.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that, like, for sure, I was like, I don't know why Bright's not stepping in and saying, hey, yo, stop. Like, and like knocking that shit out of his hand.
Yeah.
But he, like, kind of allowed it to happen. And I was like, bro, what is happening? So that whole thing happened. The button's pressed. And then, of course, as, like, everyone's like, oh, my God. Like, now, like, just enough time has passed where, like, people in the room are like, hey, yo, we got a 5-minute countdown happening. Like, everyone's like, oh, my God, what? Holy shit! Like the realization sets in, and that's when, like, Alberto snaps and is like, like, Riddy's out there, and I gave him the okay to go out there to go. The pilot of the Banshee is Riddy, and that's
a slow turn and the look of absolute despair on his face.
So Alberto, he is. What is the relation between Ronan and Martha and him?
So Ronan is just a member of the Marcinus family.
Okay.
Who worked in tandem with the Vist Foundation, Martha's family.
Got it.
In order to be in cahoots about the box and secure their status.
Right.
Alberto is Martha's nephew.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that means that Riddy is Ronan's son.
Yes.
But it's not related to... No. Martha. Okay. That makes more sense.
It's two separate families.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I was a little confused. But okay, so with that being said, Ronan just pressed the button to basically kill his son. And he's like...
Before that, though, Bright utters one of the hardest lines.
Bruh, I can't even speak Japanese, but I read those words and I was like, bruh, you could have heard a pin drop in the room.
Right.
Do you mind if I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bruh. Before Ronan pushes the button and hits go, Bright's trying to reason with him and is saying a whole bunch of stuff. And the one thing, really the only thing that really stuck out with me, the last thing he says, Bright's like, all I want to be is a father that my children aren't disappointed in me. And I was like, bruh.
God damn, dude.
And he said that right to his face. He's like, and basically saying, your children are disappointed in you.
Right. You're a failure.
And all I want to be is a father that my children are not disappointed in me. And then he sits down, or he sits there.
Motherfucker pushes the button.
Shakes his head.
Spite.
And then presses it anyways. And then, and only then, is when Alberto chimes in and says, hey, yo, you basically killed your son.
Right.
And then it's like,
fuck.
Damn.
Yeah.
I messed up. And then the panic sets in, where it's like, because they know they can't do nothing else.
Right. As this disaster is happening, Banagher has gotten into the Megalantica.
Right.
And Siam Vist, head of the family, great-grandfather of Banagher, is able to meet with him and discuss the importance of the box, what it is, and what it may do, depending on what he decides to do with it.
In like a fantasy setting, he feels like the gatekeeper to this like magical item. He is like he's obviously the great-grandfather of our main character, but the way in which he has control over this station.
He's like the guardian of the Holy Grail.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like the wizard that holds the artifact, that you have to say the right thing.
Yeah.
You have to say the right turn of phrase. He's going to ask you some questions. You have to answer them properly. And only after he deems you worthy will he allow you passage into the inner sanctum where you get the artifact, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
So like his grandfather sits there and is like talking to him and Minerva,
mm-hmm.
and is just saying is talking to them about how they feel and about how Newtypes are a thing.
Right.
And how, what is the context of that article, that last article on the page that has been hidden away, that basically is supposed to give spaceborn people
mm-hmm.
a place of power in the government,
right?
Or at least in some sort of some sort of authority to have decisions made on their behalf.
As opposed to being treated like the mutants that most people have seen them as.
Exactly. So again, that's the one thing that's going to tip this whole thing on its head. Mm-hmm. After seeing some history and all that kind of stuff, he's like really talking to them about it. And they're both saying the right things.
Oh, yeah.
They're both saying the things that are kind of like making Siam?
Yes.
Siam like really kind of agree with them. And it's like, you know what?
Rather than keep it hidden away,
yep.
They decide that everyone deserves to know the truth,
yep.
regardless of the consequences.
Right.
And they're just going to believe in the possibility that humanity will still make its way forward.
Yep.
Rather than continuing the vicious cycle, which of course it will, but,
Right.
Better to have an optimistic outlook than a pessimistic one.
Exactly. So.
Because secrets don't make friends.
Yeah.
As we've seen.
Exactly. And Full Frontal shows up, sneaking his way out.
And he's like, nah, keep that shit under wraps.
It should be mine.
Right. I speak as the collective will of all spacenoids. I am a vessel for these people, the king of the dispossessed. But,
are you, though?
No.
No.
Impossible.
I don't think so.
Not even.
And then,
close.
Of course, like I said, in a real fantasy setting, Full Frontal pulls out a gun.
Right.
Yeah, and then
Siam activates like this Psycomu defense system with this headband he's wearing.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking cool.
Dude, so cool. Doesn't even move a hand in a red ray shield.
Yeah.
Gets blasted around him, and then purple lasers from the dark void start shooting everywhere, and then Full Frontal's like, oh shit.
Right. Promptly vanishes.
Yeah, exactly. And of course,
cool.
at that point, Siam opens the door, the hatch outwards, and he's like, go ahead.
Yeah, he sends the butler out.
Oh, dude.
Dude, this
freaking badass butler, dude.
The silver bullet.
I
so cool. Love this thing.
I wish he had more screen time.
Mm-hmm. I wish he could have done more, dude. But
I know.
He does a fair bit.
Yeah.
Like, compared to what he's up against, but holy shit.
Crazy.
Yeah. As Benager is making his way outside, Full Frontal busts through the ground in the Neo Zeong.
Yeah.
Sends him
like
flying.
I was saying, this is the first time we see it in its full might.
Oh, yeah. Gigantic.
Yes.
And as Benager's flying back towards the mansion, Jeeves pops out of the ground in the silver bullet.
Yeah.
And catches him in his hand. And he says, get to the unicorn right away. I'll hold him off.
Yeah.
And
it's like, what, dude?
Whoa.
Before we continue, may I say, like, we've seen a colony before. And for those of you who may not know what a space colony is, it is a long cylindrical tube.
Right.
And there are probably, is it 3 or is it 4, like, land masses on the sides? I think it's 3. Right?
Yeah, 3.
It's like
separated by gigantic windows.
Right. And so we've seen these, like, the insides of these space colonies where, like, they have whole cities, and that's all on the inside of this, like, this cylinder. So if you're on, like, the landmass, you could, like, look up into, like, the sky and see the curvature of it, and like see the potential other land masses that are a part of it. Kind of like Halo, where you look out in the distance and you can see it curve up and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, they're pretty big, but, like, not like crazy. I don't think it's probably as big of a diameter as like the Halo ring is.
No.
So it's a lot smaller than that.
Mhm.
A Gundam is pretty big inside one of those things, but not crazy.
Yeah.
This Neo Zeon is taking up every bit of like the
Yeah.
full circle, like circumference of this
Now,
sphere.
To be fair, the section that they're in is a bit smaller. It's
Okay.
like at the tail end of the colony, where this private Vist manor is
Oh,
situated.
really?
Yeah, so he's just in like a small section.
Okay.
The rest of the colony is still like in that large cylindrical area. It's
Okay. Because for a second I was like, I thought that dude was just
right,
like
just
freaking massive,
gigantic,
just absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes more sense now
Mhm.
in context. Regardless, when he busts through the outside of it, and you get to see it, I was like, holy shit, this thing's massive.
Yeah.
But
That's
still,
insane.
so probably a little bit smaller than I'm thinking, but still big.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, Silver
sure.
Bullet stands there and is like, "Hey, yo, I got your
We about to throw hands, bro."
dude."
He says as he throws his hands at him.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
literally.
He pops out a couple beam sabers, catches him like a fucking like he rehearsed this, like he's been training, and he just fires off both arms just to try to get him in a pincer attack.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Frontal is able to just chop them both in half as soon as they get close.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah, Sag.
Sad.
After which he starts busting out all the weapons, his entire armament.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
talking missiles, we're talking incoms. It's the whole shebang.
Yeah.
None of which is effective, unfortunately. And after he's gotten both arms and both legs like melted,
Yeah.
he does a fucking suicide charge with his Vulcans. After which he gets his head poked and just pushed back towards the mansion that he crashes into. And all the while he's giving this whole pep talk to Banagher because of course he's fucking worried about him.
Yeah.
And as soon as he's about to go, he fires off his last two missiles, I can only imagine, which do hit Zeong, but it's like just a couple scuff marks
He
on
just
his arm.
brushes it off, yeah.
Is all. And as he's about to get lasered, Banagher calls out to the unicorn,
Yeah.
and its shield funnels come in and start blocking his beams left and right, after which the unicorn busts through.
Yeah, crazy.
Just straight up crashes
yeah.
through the ceiling.
Like a real Kool-Aid man moment.
Exactly. And so, you called, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
And he's able to get in, and we in it now.
Oh yeah.
Threat detected.
Mhm.
So yeah, he rolls up and is just like, let's take this outside.
Yeah.
And Frontal just fires every single laser on the damn thing to create an opening for himself. Looks like he's about to write his name in the ground.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But after they get out of the colony, Riddy, after having a brief run-in with it while it was still lodged in there, was pushed out by one of his beams.
Yeah.
And now that he sees what's going on, I love the way he comes to terms with the situation. Like, he's been talking to the Argama for the past few minutes, explaining the situation, the reason behind LaPlace's box and what it is.
Yeah, he really opens up and tells the whole spiel. It's crazy.
Yeah. And after that, he sees Frontal get out of the colony with Banagher close behind. And as soon as he realizes who's in that fucking thing, he's like, Frontal.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, shit, here we go. He's back. Oh, man. And then the final bout starts.
Yeah.
Can we check? What do you think of this fight?
It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I mean, we get both of our boys.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get like a nice little redemption for Riddy in that moment where he really opens up and I think really comes to grips with the fact that he's like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe, yes, my family has brought me great shame, but that doesn't mean that it has to be me.
Right.
And,
I still got a whole future ahead of me.
Right. And then it's like,
I got to do my best to make sure that future is as bright as possible.
Exactly. And for the first time since probably episode 3 or whatever it was, whenever he lost his mind, or 4.
Right.
It's like, ooh, I think we're seeing him back to kind of the way he
we are
was.
so fucking back.
We're so freaking back.
Yeah.
It's like he finally makes a bit of a redemption, and it's really nice. And it's like, oh man, this is gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
And then of course people reach out and is like, I think even Marita, like her ghost comes back and is like, go help Banaj, or like go help him out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, oh man, this is cool.
Oh yeah.
Our boy that was our boy from the beginning.
Gone wayward
And gone crazy and freaking lost his mind and, shame from his family and everything like that. And it's kind of been insufferable for a while. Is now like,
back on the level.
Yeah. So that was cool that he like comes back and of course like goes all, NTD stuff and, like they're both like getting ready and it's like, oh man, we're gearing up.
Yeah, dude.
Because now you get to see again in its full might standing there, the Neo Zeong. And, got we're actually like the unicorn now is again in this like new, the full NTD system.
Yeah, the awakened state.
The awakened state. It was light blue now, and it's just this beautiful like combination of colors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that
effortless.
Gosh,
motherfuckers bobbing and weaving.
Yeah,
using his shield funnels like they're nothing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I love that. I love the shield funnels. They're
so
super cool. I love that there's 3 of them.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Anytime he's like unable to dodge something, they come together and form one big shield like right in front of him.
Yeah,
like they block a few rocket rounds, plenty of lasers.
Yeah,
and some of them still have like the miniguns strapped to him, so he's still able to use those as like suppressing fire and support fire as well.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it.
It's a beautiful. I mean, and again, like I said before, we're like. This is like peak Gundam. So like the animation is beautiful. Everything is smooth. Everything just looks so crisp, and there's like all these great fast action sequences moving around and things happening. And again, like I said, the fact that it's not just what's happening on screen, but it's also for me a little bit. It's like the history as well of like this is so much more than the sum of its parts. Mm. It is pretty, and obviously for it to be my first Gundam, watching it, I was like, "Holy shit, that's cool!" Right. So on like a base level, you can look at it and go, "Hell yeah!" Mm-hmm. But then like,
dudes will see shit like this and go, "Hell yeah!"
Exactly. You watch it and you're like, "I don't have to know all of what's going on to look at big robots firing shit and sentient space shields, right. blocking bullets." You're like, "Hell yeah, that's cool." Mm-hmm. But then but once you know though. And like you get to see the bigger picture a little bit. Like I said before at the top of this episode, the Neo Zeong, the fact that it's also like the 30th anniversary of this franchise, and they're like also while this fight's happening, there's like this little sequence where Full Frontal like has the unicorn in a lock and like brings it through history basically, like in this like through mental power or whatever, and like shows him like, all the shit that happened in the past.
Yeah, let me show you what possibility gets you.
Exactly.
Jack shit.
And so you get to see stuff from like Char's counterattack from the original Gundam franchise.
Yeah, we see the white base explode at a Baoku. We see Amuro's fight with Char and Lala.
Yeah.
We see his fight with the Big Zam.
Yes.
Dude, holy shit.
And I love that. And so you get to see all this stuff. So like I said, so it is pretty on its surface. It is like very well made. It's very cool. But then there's also like a lot. Like I said, it's more than just all those. It's like it's so much. There's so much that's happening in the middle of all this too. And it's super cool.
Yeah.
And I love that. And so, but with that as well, there's, this halo ring shows up where it's got this like these weird like orange
shards.
Geometric shards or whatever, and it causes all our weapons to like overheat and shut down or whatever.
Somehow it's a fisticuff.
Yeah, so then it's just
got
melee.
Bare knuckle brawling.
And at that point, you're like,
Banazer like discards all his beam sabers, throws his magnum away.
Just get shit off of me.
And he immediately charges the Neo Zeong like
crazy,
throwing punches.
Yep.
Of course, he is stopped by a little subarm, which he promptly kicks into pieces.
Just kicks that shit out of here.
Frontal's able to block like both punches.
Yeah.
Has his legs restrained, of course, which Riddy is able to come up the back and try to like plow through.
Yeah.
Just shove him out the front.
Crazy.
And then he gets restrained.
Yeah.
And then Banazer like summons all of his fucking will in order to like break loose of Frontal's grasp and just punch through his arm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Chop the other one off.
But it's not like it's not these big arms that are like these big cannon arms.
Right. It's just the Sinanju's
It's just
arms.
the Sinanju's arm, like kind of like gets his way out and like tries to do something, and he just like both fists meet, and then the Sinanju's arm breaks apart, and then it's just like everything's just getting crushed, and it's like holy shit.
Yeah.
And
he just starts tearing him up.
Bruh, from like a Gundam perspective, like
we never see like close combat like this.
We never see unarmed fisticuffs. That just
only in G Gundam do you see that.
Exactly. And that is
that
is a specialty in and of itself. But to see something on this level where we're talking about like Psycom, crazy mental magic armor and like all this kind of stuff where we're dealing with like we literally at the top of this episode we get to see the full armor Gundam rocket laden.
Goes from all weapons to no weapons.
Exactly. We go from 4 gallon guns.
I have a rifle that can put a hole through you.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to hit you and you'll explode.
Right.
To I'm just gonna punch you in the fucking face.
Right. Not only that, I'm gonna put my fingers together in like in a knife formation and then dig in like overhead, both hands.
Right.
Pointy knife formation. Dig in and then scoop your ass out.
Motherfucker's about to hit the hardest keys on a piano.
I'm gonna hit the hardest in a song. And just dig your whole ass out of there. You got this whole connection with like the Sinanju in this bigger suit.
No.
Get you out of there. Right. It's like, damn.
You now have no arms.
And it's like, that just happened.
Yeah.
This is like so raw and just
beautiful.
I mean, yeah, it's great. And so, like I said, in the whole time, these like big arms are like trying to hold him down, and it does for a while. But he just like eventually
he's just breaking out slowly.
He's just get me out of this shit. And it's awesome. And like I said, it's so just
it's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a great fight sequence. Like I said, it's a culmination of a lot of things, and it is the most Gundam. I feel like at this point, where we're just at least the Universal Century stuff, where it's like we're really firing on all cylinders,
right?
Talking about a lot of things that like have really made this franchise what it is. And then,
but Nazir, upon being faced with the infinite void at the end of time, he's just like, whatever. Anyway, he's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So
basically, Full Frontal shows him the absolute heat death of the universe.
Right. It's like,
when everything is a blank void
what you gonna
of
do
everything.
now, huh?
And it's like,
this is the end of everything, bro. This is what we get.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I mean,
I don't care.
It doesn't matter. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about right now.
Yeah.
I haven't even graduated high school yet.
Exactly.
And I'm not
a fucking teenager, bro.
Yeah. And you want me to cry about the absolute heat death of the universe?
Boo.
I don't care.
Not even gonna live that long.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna live that long.
Exactly.
That's what that means.
And he immediately, like, it returns to this awakened state.
Right.
And it doesn't even move.
Oh, gosh.
And it obliterates
the rest
of the Zeon's
I
arms.
wouldn't even... Yes, but he, like, with just the sheer will at that point, he makes the exo, like the Neo Zeong, this exo suit, this massive thing, he makes it disintegrate.
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
Right.
It's just this whole, like, it was the hardest of the whole franchise of, like...
He gets rid of its arms, and then he just, like, gives him the calm touch.
Yeah. He just touches them.
Like, presses his hands against the Sinanju, and it's just like, man, First Frontal's like, I don't give a shit about this warm-ass light, bro.
Yeah.
And then the ghosts of Lala and Char
crazy
are like, hey, man, give it up. Get some rest, okay?
Yeah.
You've done enough. And he's just like,
bro, what?
Shit, I guess I am done.
Yeah. And then he has the realization of like, man, maybe I do need to rethink my life.
I went too far in a few places.
You don't want to sell me death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life.
Right.
Maybe I want to go home and rethink my life.
Yeah. You do not want the side co-prosperity sphere.
I don't want this side co-prosperity sphere.
You want to take a rest and
want to take a rest
and give up finally.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what happened. All of a sudden, his spirit leaves his body, and all three of them fade off into the distance. And it's like
Amuro's there too.
Crazy. And it's wild. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like
Yeah.
that is the culmination of a lot of shit all coming together.
Yeah.
And it also answers the question. I don't think he's really Char.
Yeah.
I think he has some sort of human that has been trained to be Char in some way.
Some sort of fragment.
I know I touched on that a little bit last episode, but like he has so many ideas of what happened. So many experiences what they feel like firsthand experiences, but I think it's all brainwashing or conditioning in this. Series.
Probably.
But with all that being said,
mm-hmm.
Angelo's still alive. I thought he died whenever I thought he got his ass kicked or whatever.
Yeah,
and he wakes up.
Yeah. Was able to drift in front of the Xiong's corpse.
Yeah.
And finds whatever remains of Frontal.
Yeah.
And I suppose he just comes to terms with what happened.
Yeah.
Somehow. Which I would hope gives him a new lease on life and he's able to turn shit around.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's just stuck out in space.
Yeah.
For right now.
Oh, and we didn't touch on the fact that the biggest thing before the whole fight takes place, the colony laser goes off, and Benager is like, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna put up what is it called? A
psycho field.
Psycho field.
Yeah.
Like so, literally, he's gonna put up an AT field or whatever.
Right.
He's gonna put a field into existence by sheer will.
Yeah. After having Frontal's wishes entrusted to him, he's like, okay,
yes.
All right, everything's squared away.
Yep.
Now I can deal with the rest of this bullshit.
Yeah.
So the colony laser is fired.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Neo-Zeon fleet just so happens to be in the line of fire.
Yep.
After which the captain, I can only assume, senses
Yep.
like that it has been fired and imminent death is upon him.
Yeah.
After which his expression is so fucking funny to me. Like he gets up out of his chair. Nobody else is doing anything, and he's just like,
"Oh my god!"
He looks behind him like, and then he's fucking vaporized with the rest of the fleet. And then Benager activates the psycho field, along with Riddy and his shields.
His shields,
3 shields,
has its own field,
are able to come together and make an entire psycho field.
Crazy. And you can tell that, like,
I love the sound it makes.
Super cool
for this system, dude. It's so fucking cool.
The field of his shields and himself is this bright, like blue green color, just like the final version of the NTD system that we get. But Riddy's is like an orange color, like kind of that matches his vibe, and he's at the very back. And then he just really buckles down and is like, "Come on, Banshee, give it to me." And then, of course...
And then he is able to attain that awakened state.
Super cool. And I love that. I love that it feels a little... It feels natural to Benager, but then it all... Like, for him, it feels like he has to work for it a little bit. Right. And especially whenever he's kind of losing his mind, it felt like it was attacking him in a way because like he couldn't handle it in some way.
But now he's got control,
right? But I like the fact that it was like he's here and he was with it, but then he's like, "Come on, give it to me! I gotta work for it." And then of course he does it. And it's like, hell yeah, dude!
There you
go. That's cool. And then of course his field turns like from this orange gold color to like this nice blue.
He achieves Zen.
Exactly, he achieves that next level field, and then just as he does.
That stops the laser in its tracks.
This absolute freaking blast of a laser hits through that first field, stops it and lets some of it through, hits the second one, lets some of it through, and it hits his finally. And they're just they're getting rocked because, again, you're getting just the unmatched power of the sun.
Right. I love that whenever Benager's about to put the field up, it plays that classic Newtype sound.
Oh,
effect.
yeah.
The sense.
Yeah, the little twinkle noise. Super cool. He can just sense it. I love it.
Yeah,
it's a great moment. He holds back on all of it, and again, the whole time that they're watching that, Ronan's back there, just like,
"Oh God, please, oh God!"
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, they end up making it okay, and then Maneva and Sam are sitting there
upon realizing that they're finally safe.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna go ahead and open up the comm.
Right,
tell the world your feelings."
The world,
yes,
every colony and the Earth itself.
Yep, instantly connected to all of them. And the only thing that Martha can think about in that moment is like, Where is this coming from?
Right.
How many people do you think have heard it?
Send the General Rebel right away.
Yeah, right. Just try and kill them all.
It's ridiculous.
It's like, damn,
like, you're done, bitch. The cat's out of the bag now.
You're an atrocity.
No saving you. But during the tail end of the beam, the unicorn takes just a bit too much damage.
Yeah.
And most of the psycho shards, like the frame itself, is exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this crazy, like, crystallized version of the unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's a full-on, a true perfected Newtype is how Riddy puts it. Which at first is just immobile. Like, after he's blocked the beam, he's just still, surrounded by light and crystallized. After which Riddy just comes up behind him, gives him a hug.
He's like, it's time to rest, my guy.
Yeah, it's going to be all right. But then, as forces from the General Rebel approach, the unicorn starts to move on its own.
Yep.
And is...
at breakneck speeds.
Oh, yeah, just making its way to him.
Gone.
Yeah. After which Riddy is like, what the fuck what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of there.
Stop it.
I'm going to drag you out of there if I have to. So as he's chasing him, Banagher activates the stop function of the unicorn and just disables every other mobile suit.
Yep. Turn them off.
That is coming from the General Rebel. After which... He's just cruising for a bit, and he is able to meet his father as a Newtype ghost.
Yeah.
Reconnects with Marita a bit. Gives him that whole spiel about humanity being on the precipice and how they're about to experience it in their physical forms and go over the rainbow, per se, and attain that state of being.
Crazy.
But not yet. Not quite yet. We'll get there one day, but not right now.
Yeah.
And Minerva's able to pull him back after sending her own spirit out there somehow.
Right. It's like, no, you still got work to do. You promised you'd come back.
Right. No, I ain't tolerating you breaking your word, you stupid bitch.
Just yet.
Get the fuck out of that thing.
I ain't doing this by myself.
Exactly. And he's able to reconstitute himself in the cockpit. And he's back to normal.
Yeah.
The unicorn gets all of its armor back, just completely repairs itself from the looks of it. There's still a few cracks and bruises here.
Right.
But nothing major. And then they're able to get back to the ship.
Yeah. And so this is where, like, they start to escort Martha out.
Right.
So she has been found out and is, I guess, is being detained in some way for questioning.
Alberto convinces her to come clean and face the music.
Why wasn't Ronan also asked to?
Oh, I'm sure he will be.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Because there was a point in time where I was like, I love how
it's the order of operations. They're just going to start with her and then they'll come for the rest of them.
Bright's just sitting there next to him, and of course, Ronan is just is sitting there, whooped. It looks like, and he's just like, ugh. And Captain Bright's just sitting there, kind of with him in that moment. And I think Ronan says something, but the only thing I could think of in that moment was like,
you're going to jail.
I don't think you. I hope that he's not just getting off scot free.
Right.
But
definitely
by
not.
activating this colony laser and trying to kill potentially hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I hope you don't get away scot free with that. I hope there's some consequences for that action alone.
Indeed. There certainly will be.
Especially everyone around you saying hey, bro, don't do that. And you're just like, yeah, I'll do it anyways. No. You don't get to do that.
No. Then Bright slaps him.
Oh God, please. I was waiting so much. I feel like I was on the edge of my seat. I feel like if Bright was to slap somebody, I would have been like, yes!
At one point, you came so close. He was on the edge.
Oh man, I was like, please just slap the shit out of that
please,
bitch.
please.
Dude, there's this one moment where at the end, whenever Martha walks up to Alberto and grabs him by the collar or something and says something.
Yeah, just pats him on the shoulder.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know what it may have been. It felt more aggressive, but I think it was just my feelings were aggressive. She, I think, just tapped him on the shoulder, whatever. But
she just gave him a knowing look. It's like, well,
yep,
got to do what I got to do, I guess.
And the crazy thing
jigs up.
I opened my mouth, and the only thing that could come out, and I did not plan to say this.
Yeah.
I was like, don't touch me, you slug.
Yeah. I was like, dang.
And I was like, because I was like, at that point, I just was like, I was like, oh, I don't
like you.
Dakota
Gross.
and Cassie they both were like, damn, they both giggled.
Right.
They were like, holy shit. And I was like, I don't get out of here, you menace.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I was like, yeah. Of all the people that are just awful in this show was her, just a true bad guy. Jesus. So, anyways,
Blurg.
And they all lived happily ever after
for a while,
and victory never happened.
Oh God, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, victory is that like the next thing in the timeline?
So the next thing would be narrative, and then I believe Hathaway.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Holy
Ain't
shit.
that some shit? Man?
That is some shit. Wait a minute.
That's crazy.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Damn, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they got cool graphics for the whole timeline. Look at this.
Let me see.
Oh, well, hold on. Yeah. They just got cool, like.
Oh, that is cool. Damn.
Let me see, though. Yep. Char's counterattack is the last thing. Oh, whoa, okay.
What?
LaPlace's box recovery, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, Mobile Suit Gundam Twilight Axis.
Oh, damn. I forgot about Twilight Axis.
And then there's something. So Unicorn is 96. 97 is Phoenix Hunter. Which, I guess it's like
narrative.
Right. So it's narrative, Mafty Uprising, which is Hathaway, which that's 105. That's crazy.
Oh, jeez.
And then it is F91.
Wow.
I forgot about that. That's 123. And then it's Victory.
Oh, my God.
And then it says it goes from UC to RC Gap. I guess what that means. But
wow.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Wow.
So what do you want to watch next?
Bruh, I don't even know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a whole connection of, I see there's like a bunch of different connections of what happens directly after victory. It says it correlates with the correct century, which goes to turn A.
Yeah.
But I think there's a different timeline where they go to the Reglid century, which is Gundam
Reconquista in G.
In G,
yeah.
Which then also can go back to I don't know how it was. Anyways, or somehow then it turns over to turn A. So anyways, that's crazy, man.
You cannot run from the mustache.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what that means, but sounds
the
ominous.
turn A.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I need
mustachioed.
Yes, the mustache. Yes, I got it. Okay.
The world ender.
Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, okay, we've been going for pretty long.
Yeah.
This was a good
proper send off. Glad we were able to get back to this one,
bruh, dude. This was amazing.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did this Gundam series like this.
Me too.
I feel like there was a lot to talk about throughout the entirety of this. I think if we were to summarize it all into one, we wouldn't have talked about.
Oh no.
As
not
much
nearly
as we should
enough.
have. And I'm glad that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, the next episode of this is going to be our year-end review. Haven't quite figured out the whole plan on it yet, so I'm not going to spoil anything because, to be honest, I don't know all the answers.
Right.
We're going to talk about the games that came out this year, all the stuff
We're going to talk about Rising.
We're going to talk about freaking...
Because we'll have played it by then.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Play some Grand Blue Rising. We're going to play a whole bunch of other games and kind of get our bearings on all that stuff. And hopefully Ethan will be available. Maybe Chase will come back around.
Mm.
You know, who knows? Maybe.
Still saving the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes, we got to have him on.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do one for the new year. And then the first one of the new year, 2 weeks after this one, will be our Hyans Awards, where we will look back at the year and decide which of the movies should get that award.
The moments
Yeah,
that stand out most.
exactly. And we watched a lot of good movies this year. We did a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.